Hey there, and welcome back to Perplexion Season 1, where we're starting back out in our mega base area on top of our watchtower here. And I want to start off by actually working on our mountain a bit more. I like how this part of it turned out, and I think I'm ready to start building a little bit more. And I think we want to try and possibly build as high up to this side of the mountain as we can. And there's something I want to try and do with this point right here. So this pillar that I've made might have to go away and reshape. But I think I'm going to grab as much stone as we have and try and build out as much of this as we can. And we'll see where we get. Well, surprise, surprise, I've run out of stone again. Completely. Like, haven't done in any of my chests. I've gone through and checked. I have nothing left in these, and I've only gotten a fraction of the mountain done. But I think it's starting to turn out actually pretty well. I'm kind of thinking about how to texture it. I just don't know how. I might have to look up some inspo pictures just to see how other people do it, and then I can kind of get an idea. Maybe just look at a real photo of a mountain and see how the lighting hits it. But I think it's turning out actually pretty well. I want to try and at least get this part down and maybe extend it out to here. Like, I want to try and get as much of this done as I can. But I don't know how much time I have to do that. But since we're out of stone again, I think I'm going to try and just go at it and try and just mine this entire mountain down so we can get stone. Hey, so editor me here, I realized that once I went to go edit, that all the clips from this point on, my mic was muted, and I had no idea. So it kind of ruined the entire thing, and I don't have time to go back and re-record new clips or anything because it is Saturday, and I need this video out Monday, and I decided to procrastinate and not start until Friday, which was yesterday, to actually start doing anything. So I'm going to kind of go ahead and explain while the clips are going forward, kind of explain what I was doing. So as you can see, I didn't mine out that entire mountain. I said I was going to try, but I started mining it out chunk by chunk instead of just the entire mountain because I thought it would be maybe a little easier or something. But it also got very, very boring. And my pick kept getting very close to breaking, so I had to keep running back to the end over and over and over again because I couldn't make it through one chunk without my pick almost coming to break, so I had to go back to the end at least once or twice between each chunk, so it was really annoying. And I had already filled up all these chests that you can see below me. I filled them all up with stone. There's probably 8 to 12 chests or something filled with stone. I'm showing them right now. You can see that we had plenty of stone, but obviously it's not going to be enough for the entire mountain. And I wanted to try and get as much of that side done as I can. You'll see later that that didn't actually happen, but I did want to try and at least use the stone that we had to try and mine as much, or not mine, but build as much of this mountain as we can. You'll see here I'm going to the end again because my pick is about to break. But yeah, I wanted to try and use all that stone that we have that we just mined to try and build a bunch of the mountain up, at least part of that side. And I actually came back here to try and explain how I was actually building the mountain. So I kind of started doing this like wireframing kind of deal here. I'm about to show you here how I built these vertical pillars here going up to the original outline that we had made, and I'm kind of just building these horizontal lines across here and then filling them in. So I'm about to build one of these horizontal lines like I was talking about. So I kind of build up, try and make it flow into that piece next to it so it doesn't look like it's in these slices. And then I eventually fill in that whole section right there, just piece by piece by piece. I thought it was easier for me There's probably a better way to do it, but as I've said, I have never built a mountain, especially at this scale, before. So I'm kind of just experimenting with different things, filling it out. But I kind of wanted to just pop in and say how I was doing it, so you get an idea of like my process and everything. I'm just going in with the stone now. We're gonna texture later. That's like a next episode kind of thing, probably even way later. I think I at least want to get that side done before I start doing all the texturing. But yeah, so I'm just going in all these sections. I think I ended up adding even more of these vertical pillars in between each of these sections, just to make it smaller pieces that made it feel like it was going faster. Probably wasn't at all. It was probably actually going slower because I was going through and doing all these pillars instead of just filling it. But this is the process that I went through. Kind of just placing blocks in random spots. Didn't really have a perfect like idea of what I was gonna do. I was kind of just placing them wherever I felt like it needed the blocks. Kind of just throwing them down and seeing how it looked. I thought that would probably make the look the most natural. I thought it flowed super nicely, like in the end of it. But yeah, I think all the pieces are great. I think I like this process and I'll probably stick with it. So unless something else changes and I actually don't like this process, then I'll switch it up. But you can see here how it actually does flow together. It's not just all in these pieces. It kind of slopes up and down throughout the side of the mountain. I guess not up and down, but out to the side. And it kind of peaks out, and then at some points it divots in. And then these pillars eventually will go up. And then I'll start doing all this wireframing, which you guys will see later in the video. But before I show you guys that, I went ahead and went to the shopping district area and brought a ton of grass, a shulker box and an inventory full, because I thought it was about time that we started to convert this mycelium in the shopping district to grass, because you can see like it's not the best looking thing. So I kind of just decided that I would kind of go right outside my little shop here, and then went in a circle around the portal and just replaced all that mycelium with grass, with whatever I had. So I kind of just replaced the blocks. I kind of changed methods as I went, but yeah, I just went through, replaced all the grass. It's a little vibrant, maybe a little more than I would like, so we'll probably add some other blocks in there that will break it up, hopefully. Probably moss, some other grassy kind of blocks, maybe add some like green terracotta or concrete or something like that. But I just went ahead and started replacing a bunch of these mycelium blocks to start the transition into this green grass area island that won't spawn mobs. And as you can see here, I went ahead and used all that grass. We literally only had like 40 some grass and dirt left over, like after all that. So this tiny little circle that we have here was a shulker box and an inventory full of grass. So we're gonna need a lot. So it's a good thing that we have been tearing down that mountain, because we're getting plenty of grass and dirt for it. It'll definitely help with this transformation of the mushroom island, and it kind of looks cool with this random green circle. So I think it'll hopefully look pretty good. I think the more grass that I see here, it's looking a little bit better, so it's not as vibrant. I kind of changed methods, as I said, to placing on top of the mycelium instead of replacing. Just went a little faster for me. But yeah, we're starting to finally transition this area, make it look a little bit nicer. We'll have to add foliage pads, all that jazz and stuff. But now we went back to our base area, and you can see all this wireframing that I did. Obviously, this isn't the entire side done, like I said I was going to try and do. It's not even anywhere close to all the stone that we mined either, but I ran out of time and am running out of time for this video. So I kind of just went with the wireframing, did as much as we could. You can see I did do more, like I extended all the way out, filled in this area, and brought it all the way down to the grassy area down by the plains here. It's definitely more progress. It's been a couple of hours that I've been working on this. The wireframing takes quite a bit of time, and you can see all these sections that we're going to go in and fill. Got to add some more right there, where we have to add more of these vertical pillars and wiring, but I think it'll make it go faster. But yeah, I think it's pretty good progress, and I'm not gonna do all of this side in this episode. I've kind of changed my mind on that. I'm kind of gonna just go with it and do section by section. Maybe every episode, every other episode, kind of as I feel. I definitely could have done more if I had more time and gave myself more time, but like I said, kind of procrastinated and left it until the end of the week, and I need to get this out in a couple of days. And I actually pull up my stats here. You can see how long we've played, 7.12 days, real lifetime in the world. So you can see how much time I've put into this world already. Definitely not a ton compared to some other people, but I think it's really coming along, and this is just the start of our world, so we still have a full forest to make along with the rest of our mountain, but I think it's really coming along. And I think next episode we'll probably try and go down into our forest here and you know, try and actually add this foliage and maybe add some paths and things like that. You can see there's definitely some terraforming that needs to happen down there. There's a bunch of holes, random blocks that I'm not sure what they're from. That weird square that's right there, but I think that adding some grass and different foliage around in there will definitely help. But before I end the episode, I did want to try and go and finish up one more thing in the Nether Hub, actually, because I realized that if you don't have an elytra, it's kind of a pain to try and get to my base. So even in the Nether, it is quite a long trek just walking, so I thought I might as well start one of the boat pathways, start working on the Nether Hub. And I went over here to this ice spikes that's right by our biome behind this cherry mountain here, and started mining some of this packed ice, so that we can start making this boat path for us to use, and other people. One, it'll save us rockets, and it'll also help other people to get to our base. I don't have all the materials for the tunnel yet, so I'm not going to build the whole thing. I'm just going to make it function for right now, but I think it'll work pretty well. And here we have it, our really ugly looking boat path we have here. That is the start of our nether tunnel straight to our base portal over here. We just have one thing of ice because one, like, what do you want to call it? Pathway. It's going to be 3 wide eventually. 1 wide, that's what I was thinking of. It'll be 3 wide eventually, and I didn't even have enough slabs actually here to keep going. I did have more tuff, but I also kind of want to save it. But it's enough to get us to our base and back. And you're kind of going to have to lean against the side so you don't fall off, but I said I only wanted to do like function for right now, because that's all we really need. I don't need anything more than that, at least at this moment. One, because we don't have a ton of materials, and also I just don't have the time for it. Because, well, I keep putting myself on a time restraint. Right here I actually moved the portal up, because I thought it can be moved up right now. There's no point in waiting. But yeah, so we move the portal up, and then we finally have this little pathway to our base that other people can use to get there, because it's, as you can see, not a very short trek to get to my base for anybody else, because everything else is kind of centralized around that nether hub area, and my base is quite far away compared to everything else. So I went ahead and built this mostly for them, but we could save some rockets. And just before I end, I took a little nap here. I just wanted to kind of give an idea. I did say I wanted to do that foliage down at the bottom. I think next episode will also probably work on a little bit more of this, of the actual mountain itself, just filling it in. We're not going to do this entire side next episode. Well, that's not the plan right now, at least, just because of how long it's taken these past couple days just to try and build this part. I don't think I'm gonna want to build that. I'm gonna get burnt out, and I really don't want to do that. So I'm gonna kind of take it slower, kind of go with it. Then eventually we'll go in and texture. We have that light gray wool farm that we made. It's actually been doing really well. We have a couple stacks, so we can go ahead and texture all that once we fill in at least the rest of this side. We can start texturing, seeing how we want to do it. Maybe add some snow cap to the mountain, make it look a little better. And you can see right above my head here, I'm thinking maybe next episode we only go to about that point right above my head. That'll be 2/3 of the side done. Maybe to that left over there as well, where we have a little bit missing above that water. Maybe go ahead and fill that in as well. Kind of pull it together a little bit more. We can start designing where paths are going to go, because that's going to be another thing. If we're going to make this into a little bit of a national park kind of thing with like cabins that we could stay in, we're going to need paths to get everywhere. And we'll have to design some way to get up to that watchtower as well, so that we can actually make it work and make it function. We can see here how far the mountain actually pulls in, or I guess goes out. So we'll have to put a path somewhere in between this little valley here, and probably over on the other side as well. And then we'll have to terraform this mountain somehow. Not completely sure how I'm going to do that, but I think we gotta find a way to custom terrain it somehow so that it fits in. We're obviously not going to build a whole other mountain like we're doing now, but we'll find a way to make a little cliffside or something similar. Maybe just a little hill, just a little bit of extra custom terrain to it. Trees, of course, will cover a lot of it, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. It was a really short episode, so I'm sorry about that. Next episode, I will try to do a little bit more. I guess last episode kind of makes up for this one since it was so long. But again, sorry for the shorter episode. Next episode, we'll also try and clean this up. So along with all that foliage that we were going to do, we got to clean up our shulker monster that's currently growing. So add some texture to the grass, redesign it because there's parts that need to be torn back. And right here, I'm actually talking about the scale of the mountain, and I think it's looking actually quite good. You can really see the scale of the mountain from here, and you can really tell how tall it is because from back behind it's not as impressive, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'll try to make it a little bit longer, and yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.